this, and so they're both going to share with us today. So, Crosslyn, go ahead and start.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, my name's Crosslyn. I'm 15 years old. I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at 7 days old. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease that affects my lungs and my digestive system. It causes a thick, mucousy-like buildup down my airways in the lining of my pancreas. I take enzymes to help break down the mucus in my pancreas so I can properly digest food. And I do hours of daily medical treatments, which is a compression vest and nebulizers to help break up the mucus in my airways so I can breathe. Um, my doctor called my parents to come into the clinic immediately on May 22nd, and this is where the profound patch story my mom is going to tell you begins.
Lacey Dale, can you unmute?
Sorry, I thought I was. Oh my
Oh,
goodness. Thank you. May 22nd was the day that no CF parent ever wants to experience, where we heard the worst news with the most aggressive terminal bacteria that someone with cystic fibrosis can contract. Our amazing doctor, who is near retirement age, said he had never dealt with this bacteria in his entire career. We circled up in prayer before we even left the clinic. We then immediately watched Crosslyn's body rapidly decline, with all the symptoms on the list of the bacteria happening all at once, from what she described as her brain shaking against her skull, to being lifeless in bed, to coughing nonstop, and more. We were on our knees trusting the great physician and the ultimate healer. To this point, our greatest tool in our toolbox of the last 2 years has been hyperbaric oxygen chamber treatments. We started taking her to the chamber daily, and they gave her the greatest amount of pure oxygen a human brain can handle in order to help starve out the bacteria. During this time was also she and her brother's Rodeo Bible Camp of Champions week, where I would love to get into all the layers of miraculous details that began unfolding, but I need to keep this very condensed today. So I took her nightly to the church services where hundreds of hands were laid on her and prayers prayed. The pastor said each time, "Y'all know God is in the miracle business every day. He did it then, he'll do it now, and he'll do it again. He can instantly heal someone, but also sometimes he chooses to do it in unconventional ways, with like guidance from the doctors, certain medicines, and through people watching how you walk it out in faith. At the end of the journey, both people will tell you they got their miracle, whether instantly delivered or not." The week following camp, our friend Ashley had watched Crosslyn from a front row seat and offered the X39 as possibly something that could help her. I've worked so hard daily on Crosslyn's health all these years, thinking outside the box and trying to find any additional approaches to her health care beyond doctor recommendation. Because I had already done such a deep dive in stem cell research, I immediately understood the context enough to want to get one on her. June 25th is her first patch. The morning after the first day, her little brother Gatlin came running into us saying, "Sissy slept all night long. She never coughed or woke up at all." This had never happened. But now it's her nightly normal, along with no more night sweats from medicines, all for the first time in her 15 years of life. My husband Dusty and I thought, if nothing more, this was enough to keep her wearing X39. July 9th, we go into the CF clinic, and during her pulmonary function testing, where she blows all the air out of her lungs as hard as she can, I noticed something's very different that I've never seen, but I couldn't quite define it. We soon learned that she has 100% lung function for the first time in her life, doubling what she had previously been doing in the testing. She's also operating daily at a level of stamina and strength that she's never had, living in full stride with her parents and brother. But this is only day 15 of her wearing X39. We are all firm believers at this point, but not divulging our secret to the doctor just yet. August 14th was the day of truth. This is 7 weeks of wearing the patch and 100% lung function again. After her doctor looked at me with great suspicion, I handed him a white paper from Lifewave clinical trials and shared our secret. He chuckled at another of my unconventional ideas until he had the stethoscope on her lungs. After listening longer than normal, I asked if something was wrong. I sincerely was concerned because I had never seen the looks on his face that I was seeing. He said, no, quite the opposite. There's no crackling, none. For 3.5 years, Crossland's lungs have crackled due to the scar tissue buildup from the bacteria that she's battled. No crackling meant the scar tissue was gone. I said, well, I guess that's what stem cell regeneration causes, as his jaw was on the floor. Crossland has an entirely different quality of life now and ahead of her. She's passionate about equine health due to a lifetime in the saddle, so she's also patching her horses daily. Faith is believing in the unseen. Crossland's story for his glory is a faith builder and an X39 testimony builder of the unseen power beneath the surface, all in one. We feel like we got both of our miracles instantly and through God's healing tool of these amazing patches.
Wow. Okay, I don't know how you did it without crying, first of all, because I can see the ladies in the chat. So this is why I wear waterproof mascara every day, just so y'all know. But thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. And so, Crossland, I want to bring you back for a second because your mom has bragged about what you're doing with horses and how big it's becoming. So share with us a little bit about what you're seeing with the horses you're patching.
Yes, ma'am. My little brother's 27-year-old barrel horse Whisper has more increased muscle in her back and throughout her hips than she's had since we've had her. We've almost had her for 3 or 4 years now. She's so much stronger. Her speed has increased. She's moving as if she was 10 years younger. There's no popping and cracking. And whenever I went to go stretch her before my brother ran barrels, her muscles were so limber. It was so easy for me to pull their legs forward and stretch her. And I've never felt that on a horse ever. My barrel horse, Red Man, is extremely less sore in his hind end. I can run my fingers down his back. He's not bracing. He's not trying to get away from the pain. He just stands there as if I'm doing absolutely nothing. My dad and brother's rope horse tore his digital deep flexor tendon in his right front leg in October of 2023. His hind leg or his front leg has been extremely swollen, and the scar tissue is very visible. It's very bulged out. You can just see it from quite a few feet away. And I've been patching on both sides of the tendon for 2 months now, and the bump is completely gone, and both of his front legs look completely normal. They look like every other horse's leg that we have. And the biggest testimony I have is with my rope horse. He had pneumonia from the 1st of June to middle of July this year. He constantly coughed and acted like he was choking. I've patched his lungs and the 2 acupressure points consistently for the past 2 months. He has no coughing. He has helped me achieve my 2 fastest times in breakaway this year with a 2.7 and a 3.3. The patches, they've truly saved my horse's life. If it wasn't for the patches, I would not have him to be competing on right now. He is such a blessing to me and my life, and the patches are 100% how I have my horse back.